What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I always feel weird doing this, like I need to address you somehow. You know, like all the YouTubers like have cool ways they address their audience, like when it includes their name. The Danley Tards. Just kidding. I don't know. How about you beautiful people? How are you doing? You look great today. Speaking of looking great, I have this MT-1, the specifically LTD MT-1. This is the new-ish guitar from Slipknot guitar player Mick Thomson. If you didn't know, you know, now you know. This thing is such a ripper, dog. And you're probably looking at it like, why is this still the plastic on the pickup thing? There's a great reason for that. This guitar was shipped to me about two-ish weeks ago. This is something that people have been asking me for a lot, especially after that last Slipknot video. Well, look at that. ESP, 50th anniversary. That's pretty cool. It feels like there's a case in here. This thing is stapled closed too. So this comes in a, oh my God, when you come out of here. There's like no elegant way to do this. Ugh. They put a dust jacket on the hard case. It's kind of spiffy. Has that new guitar smell to it. This is a very nice case. I know that's not super exciting, but there's like extra padding on the handle and stuff. Let's open this and you can see it before me. Is it cool? Oh, it's in a dust jacket. Well, whatever, I tried. Oh yeah, dude, look at that thing. Yeah. It's a monster. You know, sometimes these dust jackets, they're put on in a way where it's like they intentionally rip by the time you take them. Ooh, they make them so they just intentionally easily rip off. But when you're returning the guitar to the retailer, like this is not my guitar, I'm not keeping this. That's annoying. It feels exactly like my other LTD that I just did for the Black Dahlia murder video. You know, that I just upgraded and refinished. It feels almost identical to it. I should have satinized the back of the neck on that guitar while I was doing stuff to it, because this does feel very nice now that I'm holding on to it. So 𝗦cie𝗰𝗶𝗹 pickup. I like this too, how you have this extra half fret right here. It's gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Now this video is not sponsored by Zounds or LTD. They have no affiliation with this video or anything. I just like working with Zounds because they send me stuff for free to check out for you guys. I have to send it back. I don't get to keep it or anything like that. But that's nice, you know, because then I can give you my opinions without feeling weird about it. Like LTD is gonna be mad at me or something. But that's why I like doing it that way. Now, of course, there is an affiliate link down in the description below. You guys know how affiliate links work. If you like this guitar or any guitar and you buy it, I get a small commission at no additional cost to you. It's what we call a win-win. Now back to the plastic on the pickup thing. Remember when I said that just a second ago? The reason that I plug in these guitars right away after I unbox them is because I want to get a feel for it, because we will put this thing on the bench so that way I can give you guys, like, I don't need to really do a setup here, honestly. I'm feeling that this guitar feels pretty great out of the box to play, you know. I do want to put this up on the bench so I can give you guys more detailed specifics about this guitar, like things I would want to know if I was online and I was really interested in a guitar. Like, that's why I do those things. I do those things because, like, I want to know how thick the neck is. You know, I want to know how wide it is at the nut. Is there any weirdness? So that's why I do it, so I can relay those things to you. I can set it up in my preferred C standard tuning, and then we can come back in here and we can do a little bit more detailed demo. Now let me explain what's going on here, what you're hearing on your end. I have the LTD, my hair. I have the LTD MT-1 that is running into the devil from my company, Obsidian Audio. Probably some of you guys are familiar with this, but this is the red knob version. Just thought I'd get it out for this video because look at it, man. Doesn't it look cool as shit? Now, if you're not familiar, this is a combination noise gate and overdrive. This was designed to the things that I like in overdrives when I boost an amplifier, and that's how we're using it. We're boosting this Synergy 50-watt head that has the 𝗦cie𝗰𝗶𝗹 module in it. And if you're wondering, like, hey, why weren't you using something that's like more Slipknot, or I don't know. So I'm going into this 𝗦cie𝗰𝗶𝗹 module that is going into this 𝗦cie𝗰𝗶𝗹. Just matching things up here, and that's being mic'd by an SD Electronics Voodoo Ribbon 1 on the T75 side and an SM57 on the V30 side. Yeah. Man, this thing is ripping. Let me read you the specs before I get too far into this. This is the LTD Mick Thomson MT-1 signature electric guitar in obsidian metallic. It is a mahogany guitar with a 3-piece maple set neck and a white ash veneer top, which you can't see because of the metallic finish, but I guess you just have to take their word for it, it's there. The neck shape is listed as thin U. The fretboard is made out of Macassar ebony with a 12-inch radius. We have a scale length of 25.5 inches with 24. I mean, I guess it's 24. It's really 23.5, but it's listed as 24. Medium jumbo stainless steel frets. We have a black Tusk or Tusq XL nut, hipshot grip lock open gear tuners, and on the electronics end, we have a single Fishman Fluence Mick Thomson humbucker with a single push-pull volume control that controls the voice on the Fishman Fluence, and a 3-way toggle switch for more voicing options. So even though you have a single pickup, you have a ton of different voicing options with this guitar. And all of that guitar comes in at $15.99 US at the time of making this video. Now, like you guys saw, that $15.99 includes a case. I feel like I have to say that because it's becoming increasingly less common to get cases with your guitars these days. All right, let's go put this thing on the bench and see what's up. Alrighty, time for some measurements. Now, like I always say, measurements don't tell the whole story, but they do help tell some of the story. So up here at the nut, we are 42.25. Up here closer to the heel, the neck joint, we are at 50, just a shade over 56 millimeters. Up here at the first fret, we are 21.28 millimeters. That's a little surprising to me. And for you inch fellas, I live in the United States, I should be inches too, I guess, 0.84 inches. And then we have 22 millimeters up here at the 12th fret, 0.86 inches. Now, in terms of neck shape and playability, this is a little bit surprising to me. I would say that this is on the medium to thick end for neck, but it doesn't feel that way at all. It feels very thin and fast. We have a very round neck shape without a lot in terms of shoulders, so it is very comfortable to play. I really like this fretboard a lot here. It does need to be clean though. There's nothing else I really need to do here. I'm gonna check the intonation because I will be putting thicker strings on it. With that being said, I am using Stringjoy, a custom pack of 11 to 56 for C standard. People ask me all the time what strings, what gauges I use. Stringjoy, these are them right here. You can just pause if you wanna read that. Let's get these on. The fretwork feels super solid. Nothing is poking out or anything. We don't have any fret sprout or anything. And you'll notice we do have hidden tangs as well. The likelihood of getting fret sprout very, very low, I guess. I did have to polish this fretboard quite a bit. The fretboard looked just dirty from the factory. And what you'll notice in here is you really got to get in here and clean, you know, up against the frets. It's almost like when they put these things in, maybe some glue and some dust got pushed out of these spots and didn't get cleaned up all the way. Because I really had to get in there and dig it out, you know, to get it clean. But it looks pretty good now. None of that stuff would affect the playability of the guitar. It's just something you notice if you look at it very closely. I am going to check a few things here real quick. Now, I don't expect this to be flat. Yeah, there's a little bit of relief in the neck, so this won't be perfect. Okay, so I didn't straighten out the neck before I did this. I just wanted to see what it was like, and you know, if it was off, I would have straightened out the neck, but there was like literally no fret rocking going on. So the frets are very, very level. Whoever crowned and polished the frets on this guitar did a very good job, including that little half fret. Even that was, you know, all level and everything. And to further quantify these frets for you, we have a fret height of 1.1 millimeters or 0.435 inches. Okay, something here that's a little odd. You should probably know. While it is not a serious flaw, it definitely is a flaw. With this guitar in particular, maybe it's not on all of them, but I'm just relaying it to you. When you're trying to poke these strings up through the other side of the body, a lot of times the end will kind of hit the saddle and you got to keep poking it through until it makes it through this hole right here. But if you notice on this guitar, it's kind of a big problem because the holes that go through the body do not line up with the bridge. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's in a pretty significant way. I can take this off. Let me take this off. It'll be easier. Now you can see much more clearly what I'm talking about here. The hole that goes through the body is partially covered by the base plate of the bridge. So it does make changing strings kind of a pain in the ass Now, I have no idea if it's like that on all of these guitars or if it's just this one. And it feels weird to discover this shortly after I was just praising the person who set it up. But I mean, the setup was still really good. Was the bridge set too far forward, or were the holes drilled too far back? I don't know. It's one of those mysteries I guess we'll never know the answer to. And now this has become an issue. So where this saddle is at, I'm assuming is the intonated position. And when I poke the string through, because the holes are not aligned, it actually poked through underneath the saddle. On the low and the high strings, you have 2 sets of holes, right? So you have 2 different holes that you can poke the string up through. The way the bridge is aligned on this guitar though, the holes that go through the body of the guitar go right in between them. So you barely have any clearance to get the string through. I actually have to take the saddles off to get these strings on because they want to keep popping up through this hole and going around the back end of the saddle. And maybe this is an intonation thing, and just for purposes of manufacturing, they do this so it's both a left-handed and a right-handed bridge. I don't really know, I'm just guessing. You know, because of that, I actually have to take these saddles off to try and get the string through the correct hole and then put the saddles back on. And the screws and the springs actually stop you from using these back holes anyways. So, you know, I don't know. If I had to do this every time I change strings, like take the saddles off, I don't know. It's very annoying. I also use mostly Floyd Rose guitars, so I guess like maybe this is a hypocritical thing for me to say, but it feels like very flawed, you know? This just feels like not right. Hopefully, I would like to give LTD the benefit of the doubt that this is just me, but I don't think it is. Wow. All right, I finally got it through the right hole. And for LTD's sake, if any of you own this guitar, please tell me if your guitar has this situation. I'm just gonna assume that this is a one-off and this guitar should have been corrected or, you know, put in the B stock pile. You know what I mean? It's very weird to me. Okay, now that that's behind us, I want to explain a couple things here. I did have to go through and re-intonate this guitar, not only because I'm changing the tuning it's in and the gauge of strings, but also because I had to remove the saddles to get the strings to the you saw. So when you have these types of bridges that have these 2 posts that can be adjusted, you really need to make sure that these are level. The reason is you don't want to put more pressure on one of these legs than the other leg because it will strip out and wear sooner. Also, when you are adjusting these, especially if you are raising them, it is a good idea to take the tension off the string. That way you don't strip out these parts as fast. Same thing when you're intonating using the screw down here. It's a good idea to relieve the tension on the string so that way you don't put undue stress on this part here and strip it. So I did level these all out. Some of them were a bit crooked, but yeah, just FYI, you do want these to be level. And if you would like to know where the action is, we are just above 3, in between 3 and 4/32 of an inch on the low end, and right about 3/32 on the high ends. So pretty acceptable action. The neck is almost perfectly straight too. There's not much relief in here. Now that that's behind us, let's go plug it in and see what it sounds like. Yeah, man, this thing is playing so good. So good. It's a lot more vibrant sounding. Like I could feel the guitar vibrating a lot more. It just feels like everything's aligned besides the bridge. Yeah, we're plugged into the same rig. Everything else is the same. My shirt's different, but you know, other than that, everything else is the same. I think that's about the cleanest I'm gonna be able to get this set up. Here is the bridge with the toggle switch down. I don't know what modes these are or anything. I'm just telling you the switch configurations. Bridge with the toggle switch in the middle. Bridge with the toggle switch up. I like that one, it's twangy. Other voicing, that's like, it almost sounds single coil. There's more hum. Volume knob pulled, toggle switch down. Toggle switch in the middle. And toggle switch up. So this is really cool for you guys who like the aesthetic of a single pickup. A lot of dudes don't use the neck pickup so much, and they just like the look of this. And I think if that is you, you follow it, but you also do kind of want some stuff once in a while. You want to be able to switch some things up. This to me sounds like, the way I would describe it is the voicing is almost switching between a humbucker and a single coil. And the toggle switch is sort of simulating two pickups with a three-way toggle, but you know, not really. It sounds like it's trying to simulate it with one pickup, you know, but it sounds good. There's a lot of variations there. I like playing this guitar a lot. Now there's a lot of caveats here, and if you've been watching the video thus far, you're gonna be very well aware of them. I have some updates though, so I wanna clear some things up here while I'm giving you my final thoughts. I think this guitar is badass, dude. I think this guitar is a lot of fun to play. It feels great in the hands. I like all the choices on here. I like the open gear tuners. I like the satin finish on the back of the neck, although this line is a little weird. I kind of wish this line was different. You know, it is what it is. It's not a major thing. But I do like the satin finish back of the neck. I do like the single pickup. I like the fact that this is a Fishman Fluence that is wired like this. Like normally, this is not my normal vibe. You know what I mean? I've tried Fishmans lots of times, and it always feels overwhelming. It always feels like there's too many options. However, if you take all those options and cut them in half because you only have one pickup, then it feels a lot more manageable. That sounds ridiculous to you, then, you know, just ignore that part. But if you're one of those guys also who just likes two humbuckers and a toggle switch, and you're like, what, the Fishman, like the tappies and the extra toggle, what is all that? You know, maybe you would vibe with this. Just throwing that out there for those of you. Now, the caveat being, this specific guitar has a pretty big flaw in it, like you saw earlier with the bridge. I confirmed this with two other people that own this guitar. They both sent me pictures, and their bridges are aligned with the holes in the body and don't have this problem. So with that being said, it does give me a couple little weird spots, because on the one hand, I know I can suggest this guitar to you because two other people that I know bought them and they didn't have this issue. Like their bridges look totally normal. Like I said, they sent me pictures of them. Looks totally normal. And if you were gonna buy it from a big box retailer, which, you know, shout out, use my link down in the description below. But if you're gonna buy it from a big box retailer, it's not gonna be an issue. You know, if you got something like this, you would look at it and be like,
hey man, this is messed up.
And I'm sure they would take care of you. You know, most of these places have customer satisfaction policies. So I feel pretty confident suggesting this guitar and saying it's a great instrument, that I really love my time playing with it. And this one I just got was a fluke. But on the other hand, it kind of makes me think like, what's going on, LT? Like, how did this get by inspection? How did someone string this thing up and like sit there and go, oh man, it's not going through. We'll just put a sticker on it, it'll be fine. You know, that gives me a little bit of a weird feeling, but running a company's hard. I don't know. And I'm fully aware for a lot of you, $1,600 might sound like a lot for a guitar, but when you get into this range of guitars, like if you want an ebony fretboard, you want stainless steel frets, you want a case, you want a case, you're probably looking at like a $1,500-ish range, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending, you know, on the rest of the specifications. Is it a signature model, all that good stuff. But you know, for what it is, I think it's pretty good. All right, thank you guys so much for being here with me. I really appreciate it. Again, if you want to buy this guitar or another guitar or, you know, headphones, I don't know, whatever, use my link down in the description below. It really helps out the channel. If you really like what I do here on the channel, consider subscribing or being massively overpowered and joining these fine fellows over here on Patreon, where you get behind the scenes access to these videos. You get to know what I'm doing before I do it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.